It's time for the DeFi Dojo segment here. Thank you to JB and Ryan, and I can't say his name correctly, for bringing us good quality guests to be on our show, and we thank you for that. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're a small organization or a large organization looking for a package of AMAs on Telegram, X Spaces, and YouTube, click in the links below to the DeFi Dojo, and JB will get you sorted out. They can even get you a, let's see if I can get this right. No, not that one. No, I got that one wrong. I was going to bring up the Assure DeFi logo, but my button's not working. I brought up the other one. They can get you a discounted KYC, so you can get your internet project or crypto project complete and legal. And don't forget, if you have any connection to Europe at all, the Markets in Crypto Act is now in force in Europe, and you're going to have full KYC and a machine-readable white paper for every crypto project out there. So if you need more information on that, of course, let me know. But thank you to the DeFi Dojo. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring on our guest of the show today. That's Shelly. I'm very famous for having technical gaffes because I run this whole thing by myself. But I'm going to bring it up here. Ladies and gentlemen, Shelly Rupel, CEO and founder of Devour. Hashtag Devour Go. Devour. First of all, welcome to the show, Shelly.
Thank you. You guys are having a good time here. I'm ready for the party.
We try to have a good time because it overlooks all of our other mistakes and gaffes. We say gaffes and laughs, or laughs overlook gaffes, and if you entertain, people don't complain. That's how we roll here.
It works.
Are you not entertained?
Anyway, so for those of you that don't know, Devour is a company taking on the entire restaurant industry from a ordering perspective, from a loyalty perspective, from a gamification, and from getting food from a restaurant into your stomach in a way that is just better than everyone else. Perhaps a little less expensive, but definitely more interesting than Uber Eats. Shelly, tell us the basics about Devour here.
First, thank you for having me on. This is great to be here with you. Gotten quite a few chuckles from your intro there. So Devour at the heart of it, simplest way to look at it, we're the Web3 DoorDash or Uber Eats, looking at all things powered by blockchain Web3, really focused in on gaming, entertainment, digital communities, and over 72,000 locations live in the US. So most likely you'll be able to find a restaurant near you, and we're taking it on, as you say. The restaurant industry is a big one, and there's so much power to the what blockchain can bring to the restaurant industry, and we're here for it.
Well, as you say, the Web3 aspect of this is important, and the Web3 aspect leads us to bringing in all the newer, younger people into the world of crypto, and what we try to do from an education perspective. But what you're doing, I noticed on a lot of your marketing material, you're really hitting that Gen Z crowd, and I call them the applications crowd, because instead of picking up a phone and calling someone to place an order or call a taxi, they'll download an app, they'll create an account, they'll fund it with their card, they'll do 94 steps instead of calling. But if you get them to do that, they're very loyal. So what has been your focus on the Gen Z crowd?
It's an important digital native generation, right? They grew up with the smart devices and iPhones, iPads in their hand, as well as within the restaurant industry. They are working to make their demographic and their customer base younger and younger. So when you look at gaming, digital communities, everything that is just, natural to the digital world and those types of communities, Gen Z just makes sense, for sure.
Absolutely.
I've had some fun times with employing Gen Z people in which I've had to reach across a conference table and just take their phone out of their hand. Here you go. Let's pay attention.
Careful.
And I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, I'm ordering lunch. And I'm like, but we're in a meeting. He's like, I'm ordering lunch. Anyway, so we've got the basics about Devour and what it is in. Before we get into more of the details of it, I'd always like to ask my guests, what was your first exposure to crypto? What was that first time where you went, wait, what? Bitcoin? What? Mm-hmm. What was your first experience?
So it was 2017. Prior to that, I'd spent a couple years up at the Grand Canyon, so was a little removed from a lot of things, including third-party food delivery. Right. Living off the grid there just a bit. But 2017, a business colleague started talking about Bitcoin and that they were really into this cryptocurrency. And at first, I always admit I was a naysayer. I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me. What are you talking about? Then I became curious, and my first entry was low barrier of entry. Downloaded the Robinhood app, and I could buy into Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin,
right.
Of course. So
same story on my part here.
Yeah. And then you go from there. And how do you get a wallet? How do you do swaps?
Right.
And it's an education process, but that's how so 2017 introduced, 2018 started playing around. Pandemic, I went head first. I needed a hobby, and I really started diving into how is this technology going to impact industry, especially the one I love, the restaurant industry, and then
you made a decision that when I speak to people a lot, that decision is I'm leading my life fairly normally, doing the basics things in life, getting by, enjoying things, working on other things, struggling here, things are going well here. I'm going to start a business that involves crypto. The decision that blows most people's minds because of the complexity of it. What was that thought process? And you're like, I see a niche here that's not being served properly. I think I can start a business and capture that. What was that shining moment for you?
Part of it was a perfect storm and intersection in that I've been an entrepreneur about 20 years of my career. And I happened to be, I was in an extremely stable, good a Web2 corporate job running a division, strategic partnerships division for a publicly traded company. But I just could not let go of the impact that blockchain was going to have on a lot of industries, but its impact in the restaurant industry. As I started to reach out to colleagues in our network, different things, try to find out, was anybody pivoting their tech roadmaps to take it on for the industry? Web 2 to Web 3, how are we going to bridge that? No one was. That was fascinating to me. No one was even thinking about it 12 months, 24 months down the road. And there was zero doubt in my mind that a company needed to come along and do that. And so with that, Devour was born.
And as I understand from looking through your material and watching some of your other interviews as well, is that you're able to grab the. First, I want to our viewers, this is not a concept here. This is a live company that can reach 75,000 restaurants and, of course, millions of potential users with their project. This is not maybe we'll get to it if we get funding. You can do this now, and you can access drivers and logistics networks that I didn't understand you could do. So you don't have to go around and start up your own driver network in order to be able to order delivery. You have the ability to partner with Coinbase Commerce in order to get access to the merchants, and you can access the other companies that have delivery groups that need more orders to keep those guys busy. Is that a good summary of how that works?
For sure, in part. So Coinbase Commerce, we partnered with them for being able to use your favorite crypto or token outside of our native token DPAY to pay for orders. To your point, yes. From a driver network, we didn't have to build that. It already exists. The big three, DoorDash and Uber Eats in particular, they're really, really good logistics companies. And there's a lot of technology that's available we get an order, we get that to the restaurant, and then we're able to what's called dispatch, DoorDash, Uber Eats, most likely regional providers as well. This order needs picked up at this restaurant. Here's the user that it's going to, and then we're able behind the scenes to watch that all happen, make sure that the order gets picked up. About 5 to 10% of orders have some type of issue. That is third party in general of right. All the different pieces and moving parts. But it's a pretty it's complex, but it's pretty straightforward in what we're able to do and how we're able to partner with that.
All right, so you've told us about your company, how the product works, the basics of it. Now, the important point is that you mentioned that not just paying with other cryptos or other ways through the Coinbase commerce platform, but you have your own token as well that you can use as currency for all of your products. DPAY. Tell us all about that.
Yep. So our native token, Devour DPAY, it's native to Ethereum. We've also cross-chained to Solana. We're a Solana grant partner, and so getting on the Solana chain and some of the development we're doing there was important. We'll continue to cross-chain across others as well, and one shared supply, so we're not diluting that out. But it's the heart of the economics, the financial component of the system is that ability to use DPAY. For ourselves to reward in it, for merchants to reward in it, and for our strategic partners to be able to do the same thing. So you start to look at, hey, what's the different ways that demand will be created for the token itself? And there are so many ways within the platform and the way that we do growth through strategic partners that just a major use case. To your point, we're not vaporware. We are out there. We're live, right? You can you can download our app and use it. We've flown under the radar, really low under the radar as we built during crypto winter, and so we're in this spot for tremendous scale and growth as a company, but also then our community to be able to take advantage of that as well, really appreciative of the position that we're in.
All right, Crypto Mike has a question. Is this the United States only, or are you available in Canada?
I love that Crypto Mike asked the question about Canada. So we actually have an office in Canada. Part of our engineering team is there, and we will be expanding in Q3. So now, we just hit start of Q3 yesterday. We will be opening in Canada sometime in the next 3 months. So we definitely will be available soon. And then again, not having a driver network, we can expand internationally faster as well, because that's merely finding the right partner in the different regions we open up into to be able to get deliveries from the restaurants out to the user.
Now, can I ask a quick question regarding this? So, just so you guys know, I knew about Devour when they were around like 1,000 to 1,200 restaurants, and I remember you guys came into our VC and we started talking, and I remember I asked you this question. And so I almost want now like an update, and you probably don't even remember this. I said, how are you going to accomplish this? How are you going to go from, 1,000 to 1,200 to millions of, distributors and stuff and things of that nature? And the fact that you're at 70,000 is, the exponential growth is 70x. If you can have that type of, when you look at Netflix, you look at all these other industries that disrupted what we call now, what they call disruptive businesses, right? How did you do it? How'd you go from, 1,200 to 70,000 in literally a year and a half, 2 years? It's phenomenal.
Well, and we hope to be at around 125 to 150,000 before the end of this year.
Oh my
the two things there. One, our team is deeply rooted in our background is the restaurant industry. So a lot of relationships within the industry itself. Bringing on brands that have 3,700 locations, 5,000 locations, 10,000 locations. Obviously, you can move the needle there very quickly. And that's upcoming. We also built out some very proprietary software and solution that enabled us to onboard extremely quickly, and so that's enabled in a big way for us to be able to jump on the merchant count. So a lot of technology, a lot of things I know we're not going to get into the weeds on here today, but there's a lot of that, behind the scenes. We phenomenal engineering team, phenomenal team, and we've built some really, really complex and, a lot of it is proprietary on the software and solution that we've built.
I love it. So basically what you're telling me is this part here was almost like going up the hill. Now it's downhill time. And you're going to go from 70,000 to 100,000, if not 1 million, within 2 years from now. Because I mean, your exponential growth here is, man. That's just amazing. That is absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing big things with you guys.
Well, I think some of our viewers are expecting as well, because Chuck Jansen, loyal viewer, says, "I just bought some DPAY." Riding the freight train right now.
Good move, Charles. Good move.
Now what Chuck's going to want to know is this.
Yeah.
Now talk about he's bought it. I'm guessing he's a doctor. He's busy a lot. He's going to use your platform to order something. You have a whole reward section for this and to create that loyalty. Can you give us the basics about your loyalty program and your rewards?
One thing that we felt like was really important, and I'll go back and use myself as an example here. I order from, and I'm have been historically loyal to DoorDash. So I order 6 to 8 times a week delivery. But in all the years I've done that, I'm not treated any differently. I'm not treated special. I don't get engagement. There's nothing that takes me back to the platform unless I'm hungry and want food brought to me. And so we felt like that, especially in introducing the world of with Web3 and what's possible there, that also what's really important is a gamification with loyalty. So our Go VIP is our loyalty program. You can spin a wheel every day and get points. You can order and earn points. You can buy our industry pass. You can buy DPAY, all these, and you can play games. So all these different ways that you can earn points, level up. Every level you earn, an amount of DPAY, but you also earn promotions from our merchants, other prizes, merch, trips. Our top prize in level 11 is $20,000 in ETH within a loot box. So, you earn the loot box, you open that up. So the whole idea of that being able to engage and keep people coming back to an app or a solution. Concept was in that to build it, test it out, get growth, get feedback, and also then make that available to our partners and merchants. We're all looking for ways that we can treat users differently, and how can we use Web3 in that to make that happen. Gamification and then rewarding was one part of that for sure.
Since this is a Web3 application, is the account your wallet and you get an NFT for each level that you are, or is it linked to in the back end just in your systems as where you are in the levels?
So part of it is part of it goes both ways. So there's a lot within the system that is what we refer to as Web 2.5 versus strictly, Web 3. Right. There is a lot that's decentralized, and there's some that is still centralized. That for mass adoption, we've got to inch, towards right. that. So there are some things every user gets a DeFi or Web3 wallet. We partnered with Magic as our provider of Devour Go wallets. Everyone gets that. So when we mint, whether that's with our campaigns that we do with merchants or within the Go VIP and loyalty, anytime you get an NFT, that automatically mints to that wallet. Other parts you get rewarded on your account. You can move that on chain if you are a DeFi, a degen, or you can use it straight out of an account. So we architected it in a way to try to make it less scary for Web 2 users who are still just learning about Web 3, DeFi Dojo, and part of what you guys do is education. We've got to make that for mass adoption. We've got to make that easy, and yet still have all the bells and whistles.
Right, you got to abstract all that out.
You got it.
The reason I asked that question was because I was wondering if it was a pure Web3, then I could see a market developing for someone to sell their status and sell that NFT to someone else, and a secondary DeFi market based on your statuses. But the 2.5 integration kind of keeps that.
Well, I love where you're going with that, because that is when you think about that Web3, part of it is we own our own data, right? And right. We are the brand. Just recorded a podcast this morning where that was part of the theme when it comes to marketing, is that Web3 is we become that brand as the consumer. The idea of that being able to develop your own status from a loyalty, build it up, and then that be something you can pass on to someone else if you decide to sell that, and that part of your history and what you've gotten to. That is no doubt a part of what's possible with the roadmap.
Well, you mentioned that you order 6 to 8 times a week on it, so you would be, other than your role at the company, you're going to be a level up to campaign master there.
I'm a power user.
On the other hand, fun fact here: I have never ordered food for delivery.
Oh, wow.
In the modern, Uber Eats, DoorDash way, pizza,
Yeah.
The typical pizza delivery stuff. I've never done it, and I have a feeling it's not going to be long now. It's in fact, it might be on the Devour platform here this evening, because I'm not sure about the Mrs. striking here what she wants for dinner, and since our show started a little later today, I might not be able to prepare it in time. So we might be ordering today. First order. Go ahead, Pedro.
Yeah. So what are the future plans for expanding the use of DPAY and really where you're really trying to make this? Because obviously it's to keep building the brand that you're using. But I feel like you guys have, and what I'm trying to get here is some hidden alpha here. You can maybe drop here. What do you have for the future? What do you guys got coming down the pipeline?
What keeps DPAY going and going, right? Why is it anything that that you should pay attention to? So of course, within the platform, we've talked about some of the use cases, the being able to pay with it, the rewarding that happens within Go VIP. We also have our DPAY back program. So you think, why do some of us use certain credit cards? And it's because it's what ones give us the best rewards, right? So we have our DPAY back program where you can also earn in that way. But more importantly, who else are going to become consumers of DPAY that will need to buy it to be able to reward with that? If you think about restaurants in DoorDash, Uber Eats, no, you said that you haven't ordered from them, but a lot of people probably have, and you see the brands or locations that show up front and center, the promotions they have available, right? Spend 20, get 5, those types of things. Imagine the merchants being able to say, order from us today, and we're going to give you 10% or 20% in your order in DPAY. So they have to buy that DPAY to make that possible. We are all about partnering with gaming publishers and creators of gaming or games, both on Web 2 and Web 3. So also that being able to reward in game and then have perks that enable you to place orders and use that. Again, they've got to become consumers and buyers of the token to be able to do that. So there's a whole flywheel of token demand that is created from that. Part of that comes with scale, right? You have to take that in steps, right. And we're on the early phase of that. But as we continue to expand our strategic partnerships, that's where this with scale comes this number every which way that the token is able to be used within the platform.
Wow.
So who else is doing this? Sorry, Pedro, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go. You're about to. You go ahead, please. That was my next question.
There's Uber Eats, there's DoorDash, that the old school companies. That,
Yep.
You're the new school company. Who's the newer? Is anyone out adding this Web3 aspect to the delivery industry, or are you first and then you're killing it and leaving everyone in your wake?
Here in the U.S., we're definitely first. There are a few companies, I think, around the world that are doing something similar. I haven't been able to find anyone that's doing it at the mass scale or full scale solution that we are. There definitely are some companies and more that you see every day doing things within loyalty only, right? Rewarding things like that. But the idea of a commerce solution that also is embeddable with strategic partners, so we can power ordering not just in our app and solution, but with on strategic partners platforms in game. It we right now are standalone. We're trying to build as wide of a moat as we absolutely can. That's important to stay, as out in front as we can. But there will be others that will come. They just haven't yet, and it's a major undertaking, both to build an entire commerce solution from scratch, and also implement and integrate the blockchain and Web3 components of that. Not just something that it's not for the faint of heart, one, no. And it's not just that every company is going to come along and do it.
I guess you brought up a good point here, is the getting to scale and really hitting everybody, and ultimately that leads to a payoff for the everyone that's involved in the rewards programs, the token, but more importantly in the investors. Can you give us some idea of how you funded this startup here, how you got it going? Is it bootstrapped? Did you get some giant VC from San Francisco area? What's your story?
We did it the hardest way possible. Let's bootstrap.
Sales.
They did. Yes, exactly. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Bootstrap and self-fund for the first year and a half, and in a lot of ways. Some amazing angel investors also that have come in, that have helped along the way on that. There are two sides of it. Obviously, there's the DeFi or the DPAY side. Then there's the company equity. We do traditional fundraising through that. We did our pre-seed round last fall. We'll be doing our upcoming seed round soon. So we have flown under the radar. We did it through self-funding and built during crypto winter, because we wanted to have an actual working platform to then start to do things like getting out on AMA tours like this, sharing the word, right? Spreading it. It's download it, experience it. It's out there. It's a real thing, and really growing from there. So it's a very expensive company to capitalize and to keep going, right? It is not cheap to build this type of technology, but we have gotten to where we are without pulling in big VC money from San Francisco or Silicon Valley or others. And that puts us in a really, really good position, because we have a tremendous amount of upside. So we've done the hard part of getting to where we are now. And the upside then is a lot of green space.
Well, that can be the only good thing. Pedro, you got a last minute question here before we get rolling here?
Yeah, I was just wondering, have you really done any VC looking to get like major funding? Because I remember you guys were kind of like you said, building. You guys were grinding. You guys were using your connections out there, with other major chains here in America. But I'm just wondering,
are they knocking on your door?
Listen, I use DoorDash. I use Uber Eats, probably twice a week, if not 3 times a week. So it's one of those things, because I'm always in front of my computer. I don't got time to leave. So it makes it so much easier. Are you guys going to be reaching out to major investors to do this? And are you seeing, this is a 2-point question, forgive me, and Tom hates this. But are your gamification, are you guys also going to use that in a way to boost this in a way, right, in that advertising? Because obviously your competitors aren't doing any gamification, which is, again, Gen Z, that's all they're about. So real interesting.
Yep. So I'm going to work backwards on that, if that's okay. So the gamification. Gamification is an important piece of it. And if you go to Go VIP, the games even that we have in there, version 1, we went some just really simple HTML5 games just to prove the concept that, how are all the ways that you can earn EXP and level up and do things. As we continue to partner, those will continue to advance all the ways that you can earn, and so there's that side of it from a VC standpoint. And I'm sorry, let me say one more thing on the gamification and promotions. Even so, we have our industry pass. That's our version of the DoorDash Dash Pass or the Uber One program. It's NFT based. You pay zero for standard delivery when you hold that. that. You also get some monthly DPAY to be able to use or spend within the platform with our merchants. But that, even right now, throughout the month of July, if you hold one of those, you get every single day $10 off an order if you spend $30 or more. So $30 or more of food put in your cart, you get $10 off, and that's for holding that industry pass. We can trigger that off of any NFT, any contract on EVM or Solana. That's a very, very powerful thing. From a VC standpoint, we have gone more of the angel investor route. Have amazing investors and angels that have come in on that. For sure, seed round, that will be when we start to do or have more relationships with VCs. Who comes in as a lead? We've also been very strategic in things like partnering with Coinbase for their Coinbase Commerce, putting ourselves in the right place so that as we bring in larger investments or larger partners from the fundraising VC side of it, that we're in the right place at the right time with the right relationship. So that's definitely upcoming, and you'll see more on that over the next couple months.
Wow, that's amazing. It really is.
There is a lot going on here. I think my last question for you comes back down to the education part of it from my perspective. You have a lot going on. And clearly, I mean, the younger generation here understands the multiple aspects of playing a game, having the marketplace to buy things, getting rewards, doing this, and it's all in their psyche and all that. But the masses, you get soccer mom wanting to order food for her child and his 5 friends. It doesn't quite get this. What are you doing? What is the plan to get? I mentioned the word abstraction earlier, and that's the concept of eliminating things so people can make this easier to use. Is there something that you're working on or you see coming down the road in the industry in general that will make a lot of these Web3 products, insanely simple for the average soccer mom to use?
Yeah. So the soccer mom may, though, very well be addicted to Candy Crush, right? Or some other game on their mobile device.
That's very valid point there.
While there are things straightforward of, hey, I'm going to play this, I'm going to level up, here's what's going to happen. That's a younger demographic. But everyone loves games. 212 million people in the US, so over 65% of the population, play games on a weekly basis. That's an insane,
that's a big
market,
right?
Market share. The other part is you can build a lot of technology. We've built a lot of complex technology, but that isn't the star, right? I love talking about it because I'm a nerd and I love what we've built. But the idea is we have to make that super simple for people to use, where it is not about what's the technology they're interacting with, but what's the experience they can have. And what does that leave them with? Are they entertained? Are they, are they valued? Are they rewarded? Is it simple to use? And that's the important part. I'd say that blockchain technology, whether it's been around for a while now or not, we still are on that tip of the spear. It's early. And so figuring that out of what that looks like to make that very engaging, very fun, and easy to use, we want to be part of that solution. We've done a lot of things within Devour Go for that to be the case, but we still have work to do. And feedback from users is an important part of that as well. So we'll continue to work to be part of that solution.
Well, if you can read here, it says, already destroying the candy game, Chuck says.
Love it. Go. Charles is on it.
This is why we like to do this live, because we get instant feedback from it.
Yeah, and that's what's great about it. I'm really excited. It's one of those things, I think, as you guys really start to get moving, you said something that I think is phenomenal. You said we care more about the experience, like your experience of who you are, whereas so many corporate American entities just want you to hurry up and buy and then leave. Whereas when you think about like Starbucks versus Dunkin' Donuts, right? That's what blew Starbucks huge, is that you could come in, you could sit down, they had a fire, or you could hang out. So that experience was, that was like instantly like echoes of Starbucks when they first got started. It was great.
And it's not easy to get that right. right?
Right.
And we may go through several iterations based on feedback and different things to where that is you know sometimes you get lucky and you get it right the very first time, and other times it takes a few iterations. We feel like we're on the right track, but I also always feel like there are so many places we can go. Don't get me started on AR, VR, and just it,
Oh
but
my
it,
goodness.
but again, just that creating the experience that is very engaging without it having to be that you're thinking about what you are interacting with. That's the holy grail, and it's hard to accomplish, but we won't give up until we do.
Wow.
I got to say, I'm very rarely do we interview people that have a developed product with users and that's not ready to go, that is going, and just needs more eyeballs on it. And Shelly, I'm glad that we were able to help add some eyeballs to it, as compared to Paul's show, who's also involved with your project. We're a lot smaller channel here, but we still help get the word out, and we still bring in some good users here in live form. And Chuck saying this is awesome, and I got 2 DMs from people also saying that they've signed up and ordering as well. So that's good. So
Love it. It takes a village, right? And from large to small. I know you've made mention a couple of times, but it takes a village to get it out there. And really appreciate the opportunity to share it with your viewers and listeners.
all right, Shelly, we're looking forward to following up with you a couple of months from now or years from now and checking in and see where you are. If by then you have 6 levels of assistance for us to get through before we speak to you, we'll be really happy if you'd come back on our show then to talk to us.
Love it. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the time. Appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Shelly Rupel. Whoops, I still got the dojo doors there. They were supposed to close and not open on that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks to Defi Dojo for sponsoring that clip for us. Pedro, I thought that went pretty well.
Dude, she was phenomenal, man. Sometimes, it's interesting. You'll see an organization that is phenomenal.